Today we're going to talk about the anatomy of a flower. So you need 2 pages. This one that has the parts of a flower labeled, and then this multiple choice we're going to do together. So I'm going to read this first. And all the parts of the flower are labeled. So the anther is the part that contains the pollen, and it's this little tiny part up here. And then the filament, this long part here, that is the stalk supporting the anther. The ovule will become the seed. The stigma is the receptacle for the pollen. The style is the stalk between the stigma and the ovary. So it's in between. And then the ovary is the part that surrounds the seed as it matures. And in some plants, it becomes a fruit. Now, a lot of plants, this turns into fruit, and we don't eat it. There's a part around the seed, and it's still called the fruit, but it's not something we could eat. In fact, sometimes it's poisonous. But when you are eating a fruit, that's the part that you're eating, the part around the seed. The sepal are the modified leaves that surround the flower when it's still a bud. So they're protecting that flower while it's closed, and protecting the main parts of the flower. The stem is the stalk that supports the whole flower. And then petals, are the modified leaves that surround the reproductive parts. And often they're brightly colored to attract pollinating insects and animals. So that's the pretty part of the flower that we like to look at. And we had done that science experiment where we cut out our own petals of a flower and then folded it up to try and make it open up in the water. And it didn't go that great. Of course, I tried it after our Zoom meeting, and it turned out perfectly when I was doing it then. That's the way it always goes. So now we're going to answer these multiple choice questions together. Parts of a plant. How well do you know your plant parts? Answer the questions below by circling the correct answer under each sentence. Refer to the parts of a plant vocabulary worksheet to study for this quiz. We're not studying, we're just doing it together. So what part of a plant makes the most food? This is tricky from what we just talked about, but for the plant, not for us, what part makes the most food? Is it the stem, the fruit, the flower, or the leaf? So you might be tricked and think it's the fruit. That's the part we eat. But for the plant itself, the part that makes the most food is the leaf. That's what's getting the sunshine and turning it, using photosynthesis to turn it into food for the plant. Which part of a flower is released into the air? So some plants, if insects don't pollinate them well enough, then they actually will release it into the air. Is it the stem, the root, the petals, or the pollen? That one's obvious because I just said insects don't pollinate the plant. The pollen goes into the air. That's D. Number 3, which part of a plant helps keep the plant in an upright position? You know that one. We just talked about it. It's A, the stem, not the root, not the sun, and not a branch. Number 4, what makes the color of plant leaves green? Is it chlorophyll, green paint, oxygen, or cells? That one is chlorophyll. That's what makes the plant leaves green. And then number 5, which of the following is the smallest part of a plant? The plant seed, the plant cell, the flower, or the leaf? And that one is actually B, the plant cell. And number 6, which part of a plant collects water and nutrients from the soil? Is it the stem, the fruit, the flower, or the roots? You guys know that one. It's the roots, D. So number 1 is D, number 2 is D, number 3 and 4 are A, number 5 is B, and number 6 is D. Just a little general overview about plants. So now you need to go outside and look at some plants and see if you can identify those parts on the different plants. And I hope you have a great day.